This season of Sex Ed is brought to you by Lilo. Stick around until after the episode to learn a little bit more.
How was she in bed? Sade was excellent in bed.
He's really good in bed. He made me finish like a bunch before finishing himself. Yeah, he's great. He's like really good in bed.
Was sex talked about in your home growing up?
I actually was very much like abstinent till marriage kind of person. I think when like puberty started to hit, you start like feeling things and body changes and all of that occurs. I had sex for the first time at like 16. I cried afterwards. Had a lot of guilt. Really fun, great experience, poor guy. I knew that there were like sexual things that happened in life, but it wasn't something that I thought was like applicable to me, kind of until puberty. I met Garrett my freshman year at Yale. I had come to college very much trying to be single.
I actually remember the circumstances of this very well because it was the first or second day of October break freshman year of college.
Yale's like a really small school, so like I've interacted with him kind of on and off since. I kind of like know who he dated and stuff like that, but I didn't know him very well personally. And then moved to LA in June of 2020, and he matched with me on a dating app until we went on a date again. I did just ghost him. I wouldn't do that if I could go back and fix things.
Tell me the story of your first hookup. So yeah, we were in someone's dorm room, we were playing that game, Never Have I Ever. I remember specifically because during the game of Never Have I Ever, I shared that I had never had a blowjob to completion. People start to head out one by one over the course of the night, and then, as luck would have it, Sade and I were the last ones sticking around. One thing led to another.
I don't remember much about it. I remember him being very nice and very kind, but outside of that, I feel like I was kind of really very much like exploring sexual bounds in my life, and it wasn't anything that was like particularly memorable, though a lot of that first kind of semester hookups bled together for me.
What's one thing she could improve upon in bed? We were like both 18 at the time, so I think the ceiling of how good it can be is only so high. At 18, I'm sure there were plenty of critiques on my end, and I didn't even know what I was looking for.
When I have hookups now, I talk a lot more about like what we like, and I'm much more like comfortable in bed. And I feel like when I was hooking up with people in that like freshman year headspace where a lot of my sexual encounters were kind of validation driven, I don't think I would have spoken up if like something didn't go well or like if I didn't finish, and now I'm much more open about that stuff. So if anything like was poor, it probably was like situational and not like him as a person.
Describe your relationship with her as it stands now. Casual friends, yeah.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, I moved to LA like less than a year ago, but we like matched on Bumble when I got here and like hung out, and then we kind of lost touch. And then she hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to be in this video? And I was like, yeah, why not?
I reached out to him for this video. You know, in doing that, I apologized for ghosting him, and I was like, hey, like just asking hookups around LA, like, would you want to come shoot a video about us hooking up? And he was like, yeah, sure. Which I think says something really, really nice about him. I think he's really wonderful and like open and kind, and like is someone I would want to pursue as a friend. I just don't see us ever going somewhere like romantically.
I met Sade via dating apps. We met in a park near where I live.
Luke and I matched on a couple dating apps, and then we went on a date in a park.
And we had a fun time chatting and were connecting on a lot of levels.
And then we decided to hook up that night, and we've kind of like hooked up casually since.
Did you use protection? Yes, we definitely used condoms.
On the first round, yes. On the second round, no. I feel really bad about it. That's definitely not smart. Like, I don't recommend that. But I, again, like have the birth control implant, so I feel sometimes a little bit better about that, but no. Oops.
How was she in bed? Sade was excellent in bed.
He's really good in bed. So our first round lasted for a really long time. I remember that. He made me finish like a bunch before finishing himself. Yeah, he's great. He's like really good in bed.
It was built on a lot of communication. There's this, I think, misconception that people have wordless, passionate, amazing sex that I think comes from movies, and that's just really not the case.
He's really good at focusing on his partner in bed, and that's something I think I don't always find. very adventurous, very kind. First person to ever make me squirt, which was really cool. And like, he's like pretty committed to doing that every time.
What happened next? We both were very okay with keeping things pretty casual.
I don't know, I'm like a big believer in like casual sex can be casual sex, and like not every relationship needs to be romantic. Sometimes I think about it, like when he comes over and we, you know, sit and talk for a long time, I'm like, like maybe this is like the relationship that I want to have.
And then I think we also offered each other some pretty important emotional support that was unexpected.
I was sexually assaulted a couple months ago, and like Luke was just really there for me. And like, he's the first person I slept with after the assault, and in the middle of a hookup, like broke down. And like, he immediately caught it. He was like very careful to like ask if I was okay. Like, even if it ended horribly tomorrow, like I could never regret hooking up with someone who has just been such a wonderful support system in such a hard time of my life.
All I'd hope for is that we remain on good terms, and that we look back on whatever we've had fondly.
So we met back in 2018, interning at Goldman Sachs together.
Jess and I met in our 2018 Goldman Sachs summer internship. She worked in finance and I worked in HR, and we sat next to each other on the first day. And I remember looking at her and being like, oh my gosh, that is such a hot suit.
She's beautiful and she's wearing this black suit, and I remember thinking, I want to be her friend.
Tell me the story of your first hookup. Jess and I have just like made out. Again, like we met in 2018, and then this weekend is the first time we've seen each other in person since then. So like, it's cool to have those conversations. It's definitely more like emotional, less physical.
How good is she as a kisser?
Great, incredible. She's really hot.
It was good. She said I was a good kisser, so that was good.
How was she?
She's good. Solid. 10 out of 10.
I know she's like wary about coming across as like a fuckboy, but like I think she's really, really awesome. And I also like know about her other dating life, and I know that she's good in bed, from what I've heard.
Do you ever think about them, fantasize about them? I wouldn't say I fantasize about her or think about her in that way, just because we do have like this incredible friendship, and we've talked about dating and we've talked about going into a relationship together, and I don't think I would want to jeopardize our friendship anytime soon just for the chance of dating.
Even if we don't kind of go that route, she's definitely like a platonic life partner, someone I want in my life. Like we've talked about like buying a house together, or like we have that like, if she turns 40 and we're both single, we're getting married type thing. But it's definitely like a different relationship than a lot of the other ones I've had in the past.
Is there any chance that you guys would like cross that boundary while you're here and hook up and kiss, anything like that?
I mean, maybe kiss, but I don't think we would hook up because that's a pretty hard boundary for me.
I think it's a relationship that I'm really, really, really scared to ruin. Jess is one of the best people I've ever met. So I think that like question is always going to be there. I would be down to, I just don't want to ever do something that would like ruin the relationship that we've built. And like, I think it's hard to hook up with somebody and then have them go back to long distance and like not talk again. So I don't know.
I think in the past, I really struggled with having that line between friends and hookups and partners. And I think especially with our friendship, I don't want it to go anywhere anytime soon. So I want to work hard to make sure that doesn't happen or jeopardize that in any way.
We asked her to rank hookups. Where do you think you fell?
I think she'd rate me pretty well in bed. Maybe not, maybe not.
Well, I guess I was 18 at the time. God knows what I was doing in there. I was
Out of these three, who was the best hookup?
Luke. not a question.
Who was the worst?
Sorry, Garrett. Has to be Garrett. Just because like, I don't remember it very much. He might have been incredible. Also, it was years ago. He's had time to improve, right? So like, I assume there's been an upward trajectory. I don't have any regrets about my sexual experiences in life. I think that's something I'm grateful to have explored, and I'm grateful that I gave myself the grace and the time to like explore that, even if it wasn't the healthiest thing ever. I've grown a lot as like a sexual person. I'm really vocal now, and like I ask for what I want, and I discuss sexual situations in advance. I'm also pretty like adventurous and open, and I really like a lot of those things about myself, which I think makes me a fun partner to have in bed, if that's something you're into.
precaution. What are you noticing here?
I feel like this is a sex toy.
That's a good guess.
This, yeah, my friend gifted me. I mean, I have it.
This is nice, good color. Really just great color assortment.
If you were gonna go to battle with one of these devices, I would hold this one. Yeah, you can hurt someone with that.
Do we get some of these?
All right, you want to learn about a couple of these too? Do you want to read some cue cards?
Yeah. Okay, I was like, I'm a little scared now. This is the Soraya Wave from Lilo. It's fully waterproof and rechargeable, so it's easy to keep clean and easy to explore pleasure in the bath or shower. The toe curling wave motion technology is inspired by the caress of a lover's finger for a tidal wave climax that crashes over you again and again and again. Goodness me. I'll be honest, I'm the #1 person that's completely ignorant to all things sex. So I'm definitely like looking at this and being like, I didn't even know we had that many different parts of our bodies.
I haven't dabbled in a long time, so it's good to get reacquainted with these.
That's it.
That's it? Oh, that's easier than I thought.
Oh, that was fun. Thank you guys.
I love that we're doing this, you guys.
Fun. Not a terrible first day in the office.
No.
Right?
Awesome.
That's a wrap. Survived.
Survived.
We hope you enjoy yourselves, courtesy of Lilo and Jubilee.
Sex.